Hey guys, glad to see you back. Today we'll be revisiting an old topic, although this is not necessarily due to the recent update, but rather a gap in what we've discussed. I'll be focusing on the 5th tier skill specializations that were unspecified in an earlier base management guide. Come and grab a seat, and we'll start from there. Ah yes, now please excuse Mascara. She is a little under the weather and is unable to join us today. Don't worry, this is still a COVID-free zone. She's just keeping herself isolated upstairs. So, a while ago, we took a brief look at 5th tier skill selection and a few of the specializations when discussing base management, but left out most of the other specializations one can or should take with other skills. Well done, Junior, that is correct. We had already discussed our specializations for gardening, utilities, and mechanics, so we'll figure out the rest. We have a lot of ground to cover, so let's get started. So when we last spoke of 5th tier skill selection, we left a lot of the other specializations out because I consider them unnecessary or something that can be considered much later on in one's apocalyptic adventure. Now, there are two skills that I recommended in my first base management discussion, and those were computers and medicine. Starting off with computers, the two specializations one can choose from are programming and electronics. Now, there's going to be a reoccurring theme throughout our discussion, and that is, there are pros and cons to different skill specializations. All I can do is give my opinion on what I think is the most beneficial. So with the programming specialization, one unlocks the ability to use drone strikes for a small amount of parts and 150 units of influence. Meanwhile, the electronics specialization allows one to craft C4 explosives. Excellent, Junior. I think you read my mind on this one. I would say that electronics takes the win for computers, mainly because of utility. I would consider the drone strike as a fun way of dismembering a large number of Zeds, but otherwise, while playing on the Nightmare Zone, the purple smoke draws in a lot of Zeds, and the explosion is the cherry on top, which will likely leave one with a serious amount of attention on their hands. With the electronics skill, one now has the means of eliminating plague hearts much more efficiently. For those who remember my guide on thwarting plague hearts, you'll know what I'm referring to. So the next skill we'll look at is medicine. We have the specialization of surgery and pathology. Now remember guys, I always speak from the perspective of surviving in the Nightmare Zone. Pathology holds its strengths in relieving blood plague, using the biochem station, and reducing the cost on crafting cures. Surgery, on the other hand, is more oriented toward injury recovery. This one, in my opinion, depends on how one plays. If one has a large enough rotation of survivors, surgery may not be necessary, as they will eventually heal over time. With a smaller community, or if one's combat prowess is on the low side, surgery will make recovery much less stressful. You make a good point, Junior. Pathology does help with one's endeavors in crafting bulk plague cures, which is a lot harder in the Nightmare Zone. Blood plague infection has also received a serious buff, as well as the time it takes to kill one with a full infection. I would call this one a bit of a tie, but I personally favor pathology over surgery since I usually have a large rotation of survivors and like to craft bulk plague cures, especially with the new influence nerf. Next we'll move on to chemistry. We have pharmacology and munitions. Pharmacology orients the user to crafting stronger painkillers while reducing plague cure costs. Munitions allows one to craft C4, thermite, and increases one's output when creating ammunition. Now the choice here may be dependent on one's previous choices. If one is attempting to craft C4 and essentially be more offensively stocked, then munitions is the way to go. Personally, I wouldn't say that I need strong painkillers, as the regular ones work just fine for me. Additionally, munitions unlocks fire-safe storage, which allows one to carry much more fuel and ammunition. For those that remember my base management guide, fuel is likely to be used the most and will need to be stocked the most. So, I would easily say munitions takes the win on this one. Next we have Craftsmanship. At its base level, this skill does virtually everything one will practically need, which involves building barracks or perhaps crafting crossbow bolts. But I would say the value of the specializations are lukewarm. One has the option of construction and metalwork. Construction provides one with the option of heavy-duty storage, which increases one's capacity for building materials, crafting of alternative storage facility mods for other resources, and it also allows one to make building materials from crafting parts. Metalwork, on the other hand, allows one to craft melee weapons and make crafting parts from materials. Personally, I like the option of being able to upgrade to heavy-duty storage, as sometimes it will occur where there is a surplus of materials one may wish to hold. Also, the bonus for maxing out construction is having one additional labor unit. Metalwork alternatively provides an extra 15% in weapon durability. For me, the winner is construction. Now, our last skill is cooking. Again, another one of those skills with a lukewarm split. We have Cuisine and Nutrition. Cuisine is strictly meant to boost morale when creating a feast at a kitchen facility. Nutrition reduces morale penalty for enacting rationing, and allows one to craft more nutritious snacks that increase stamina and health, and increase stamina from feasts. Just off the benefits alone, I would say nutrition is one's best bet for reaping the most benefits. This skill in and of itself may not be necessary unless one is willing to sacrifice a slot for a kitchen, or their base of choice comes with a kitchen. Otherwise though, that is all this onion.
And this onion.
Oh wow, I didn't think she would hear that. That is all these onions have to say, I guess. Thank you very much for stopping by, guys, and we'll see you next time.